I want to bring Karl Rove. He always has his own questions on this matter. Karl, good morning to you in Austin, Texas. Go ahead, cue it up. Tell us where you think we are now.
We're into the process, but we're a long way from its conclusion, and it's simply going to get uglier. Ashna had a good question, which was who took that document out of the SCIF? Remember, the senator, then Senator Biden, is by himself in that SCIF. There's no aide there, so he took it. And similarly, when the bulk of these documents were documents that he received as Vice President of the United States. Who do we think took those out of his office and took them home? It was him. He was mishandling them, at least in the beginning, to say, toss it in a stack. That's what I want to take home. So this is not going to be a pleasant picture, and we already know it's hurting him. Take a look at this. ABC News, 77% of those surveys said Trump acted inappropriately. And this is last week. 64% said Biden had acted inappropriately. That's before this latest drop. I bet those numbers begin to close up, continue to close up. 43% said Trump is more serious. 20% said Biden more serious, and 30% said both. And you know, you'd expect the Republicans to be critical of Biden and Democrats to be critical of Trump. But what's interesting is independents, 83% of independents think that Trump acted inappropriately. 66% last week of independents thought Biden acted inappropriately. And again, as I say, that's before the latest the latest information we've received, and it's only going to get worse for the president.
On that.
It's difficult to look at these situations. As you said, we're at the beginning, not the end, but we are also aware that both men, former President Trump and President Biden, seem to plan to run for re-election, for both. So look at what Peter Doocy asked Corinne Jean-Pierre.
Those of us who are good cooks, you know, people don't realize electric stoves can't give you the right setting.
Well,
okay, obviously that was not Peter Doocy.
I don't think that was Peter Doocy.
But basically...
But we want the mayor to come join Dana and me on
do.
the air, okay? And we're extending that invitation every day now. You know, he's got a real problem with the media misconstruing what he's trying to say, but we're going to give an open table when he decides to say yes on that. Okay,
let me just tee it up.
and
that Peter Doocy asked, is this document situation going to affect President Biden in 2024? We already know that he's punted announcing until after the State of the Union. Do you think that they'll just brush this off?
Well, they can't. The American people are not going to brush this off. I mean, this is the quandary that they're in. As long as the Department of Justice is looking at Donald Trump, the Department of Justice is going to be looking at President Biden, and people are putting it in the same frame. Both of these people mishandled and acted inappropriately with documents. Take a look at this. Biden, this is yesterday. I should have updated it this morning. But if you look at the Real Clear Politics average, remember how they said, well, they had a bump after the election. Well, guess what? It's now falling, and it's back to where it was before the election. Real Clear Politics in their most recent trend line, down 1.1, 538.com, down 1.7. Both of them back to the 42 to 43 range, which is sort of where they were on Election Day. And again, as I say, we're at the beginning of this process. We're not at the end, and these numbers are likely to go lower.
Karl, can you answer for us as to how documents were found at his home from the time not as vice president or even president, but as U.S. Senator? Have you, based on your own recollection, have we had another senator with classified documents at their personal residence ever been discovered before?
Not that I recall, but, you know, and granted, this is a special case because this is a senator who became vice president and president. But again, back to the question that Ashton asked at the beginning, how did he get it? He was in the SCIF. He's in this highly classified, highly secure facility. He's allowed to read the document. And as Senator Manchin said, when you leave that SCIF, typically the official in charge of the SCIF asks you, you know, are you clean? Have you left everything? And so how did Joe Biden then Senator Biden, chairman of that point, the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, how did he walk out of there without somebody saying to him, have you left it? And why did he walk out of there with it? He knew probably better than 99.999% of the people on the face of the planet exactly what he ought to do, which is leave the stuff behind. That's why you're in a SCIF.
Yeah,
I get it. The same thing as vice president.
Yeah,
same thing as vice president.
I just wonder if it's ever happened before. I mean, we're told that's a
Not that I
secure
recall.
area and it's all under lock and key, and you don't walk out there with documents. So anyway, thank you,
Yeah.
Carl. Once again, you raised some great
Thank you.
questions for
Good to
us.
see you.
Something else real quick, did you? Did he?
Well, I was going to say we did have the instance where a former national security advisor walked out of
Sandy
with,
Berger.
I think it was the National Archives or the Library of Congress with documents stuck in his sock. But no, I haven't. No senator that I'm aware of.
Which led to the greatest
member
headline
the
of all
House.
time in journalism. That was docs in his socks. Carl, thank you. We'll talk to you later in the week, okay? And to Mayor Adams,
Thank
the
you.
invitation is open again.
Yes,
it's out there.
That was
Thank you
an
anytime.
enticement to have him come.
Yes.
So this story will continue. The White House now, I think the press office has settled in. They are going to refer everything to a gentleman named Ian Sams. He's now the spokesperson from the counsel's office. You'll be hearing a lot more from him.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.